10 seconds, I guess.
And we're live on YouTube right now.
Cool.
So I'm guessing we'll sit here for a little while. Let me close the chat.
Couple minutes, I guess.
Yeah. And let's see, there's on YouTube there's a what do you call it? A chat window, so people can write into the chat. Looks like someone's already logged in. Hello, hello. We are going to hang out here for a few minutes and probably start in about 5 or so. Well, maybe sooner than that.
Yeah.
What do you think? Like 3 minutes? We'll do a 3-minute.
Yeah, three or 4 minutes, and then make sure everything looks right, and just start chatting about orchids. And we could.
What's up, Dan? So actually, during this preliminary getting started period, people at home, you are our sound people. So if I sound louder than Steven, or if Steven sounds louder than me, or if the sound sounds, if there's anything weird about it, please let me know and I can try to fix it.
And this is our trial run, just for, I guess it's just Dan watching, so Dan knows. This is the first time we've ever done this, so we're just kind of screwing around. So let us know if it works or if it doesn't work.
Right. Yeah. Hello, Anita. We've got 3 people right now, and no one's saying anything about sound, so I'm hoping you guys can hear okay, and
yeah,
that'll be good.
Yeah, feedback from everyone watching is appreciated. Just be nice.
Steven said that this is our first bloom broadcast.
So it's going to be wonky.
It's going to be wonky. It's not going to smell very good. Yeah. It's not going to be very... It's not going to be...
Colors are going to be wrong.
We might come out upside down at some point.
Yeah. Actually, I'm looking at, I've got the sun coming in and this window here, and I've got these buds on this Catasetum that I brought inside so the creatures won't eat it. And the sun, it's amazing how cool the sun makes your flowers look. So if you ever have a really great bloom that you're really proud of, take it into the sun. It's probably going to be even nicer. And this one isn't even open yet, and the colors look like they're just going to be amazing. I think it's the first bloom.
You brought I guess you'll tell us in a minute what you brought. But yeah, no, definitely the sunlight. That's one reason I love having one side of the tent transparent, because in the morning, it's just, I get a little stained glass effect with the flowers.
Yeah, I guess, where we're just having idle chit chat, I got a grow tent from a friend, and it was used, but I'm going to set it up in a closet, I think, for the winter, and just bring some of my seedlings in, because that'll like give some more space in the greenhouse. I honestly don't know if I have enough room in my greenhouse for all the plants that I have. But
it's already full.
I think it will be. And so if I can take a closet size amount and just bring them inside, maybe the more sensitive ones like the Doyanas. Although my seedling Doyanas did just fine near freezing last year several times. They were dry. I think one of the times they were actually wet. So I figured they'd croak, but they were fine.
It's weird.
Doesn't mean I want to do it again, though.
No, I almost feel like seedlings a lot of times are tougher than the adults.
Especially for those real touchy ones like Doyana, that like if it smells water at the wrong time and the wrong temperature, just...
Yep. Turns into a brown pile of mush.
Yeah, exactly. I had a really nice Rosita in Hawaii when I moved to Texas, and I gave my collection to a friend who ultimately shipped everything to me. And awesome. He was on the windward side of Oahu, and it rained one day, like it does in winter in Hawaii, and the whole thing just went bleh.
In Hawaii, the thing died.
Yeah, so the coldest temperature. I mean, people are in UGG boots and sweaters and full-on winter jackets if it's 55. and that Dowiana still croaked, and it was a big mature plant.
I do remember reading that it likes warmer. It doesn't like anything below 65, something like that.
Yeah, it's kind of like some of the Vandas or some of the Phales are like that too. So it's kind of like that.
Well, Stephen, we've got 13 people. Some people have said hi to us. We got John, we got Matt, we got Eileen, we got Anita, and we have Dan. Love that you guys are here. Thank you so much. We're going to go ahead and get started. So I'm William Green. This is Stephen Van Kampen-Lewis.
Yep.
We are doing a live chat today just so that you guys can be a part of this, because we do this, occasionally we'll make our video, we'll record it. It's just me and him talking, and then we put it out there. But we haven't had a lot of opportunities to interact with people. So anytime you have questions or comments, please feel free to leave those, and I'll convey those to you as they come up. Stephen, if I can keep track of everything. And just one more time, if you weren't here before, if you do have any issues with sound, if I'm sounding too loud and Stephen is sounding too quiet, or vice versa, or anything like that, please just let us know. I think I can do something about it. Just let me know if there's anything that needs to happen. So
we do appreciate the feedback. And actually also, William, you were telling me there's a 10-second delay. So keep that in mind for anyone who's interacting with us or chatting or whatever.
Right. Whenever you hear us, we've already said it's 10 seconds ago. So we're going to try to manage that.
Yeah.
So I guess let's start out today's conversation with, how was the Tamiami Orchid Festival? I saw your video. I was very envious.
It was super fun. It was absolutely amazing. I like you. I also say Tamiami. I was told that that's not how you pronounce it. Apparently, I can't remember what the actual pronunciation is, but so I guess I'll just keep saying Tamiami so I don't butcher the correct saying. But it was fun. It was great. So I got there. I left here early in the morning in Austin, and then I landed in Miami in about 9:30 a.m. And then went to my hotel, checked in, got asked the gal at the front where I should eat for lunch, and she suggested a great Cuban place. So I got an amazing Cuban sandwich.
Oh, nice.
And then went over to the judging, and that was on Thursday, and got to judge with alongside Martin Motes and Frank Smith and some other folks. Nancy Mountford, who she's been working with the AOS for many, many years and is a great judge. And I actually got to hang out with Nancy for 3 days, and we had a lot of fun. And then I was able to go back on Friday and actually just kind of like go to the booths, and I get to like hang out a little bit after judging. Bart Motes was handing out wine at the tent, so I got to chat with him a little bit, but then Friday I got to do like what you want to do and go hang out with the vendors and go from tent to tent, and Friday was the day that I actually filmed it. And I bought most of my plants on Friday. And then that evening, I had dinner with Francisco Miranda and Stephen Champlin, who is the owner of Floralia. And
so Stephen, they were from Brazil.
Yeah. So Francisco and his wife, Christina, they live here, but they travel back and forth quite a bit. They're Brazilian. Stephen is an American who married a Brazilian down there. He has a really interesting model of how he gets the orchids, and he doesn't actually grow a whole lot. He's collecting from all these small vendors around the country. That's why each order that I do, all the plants look a little different. And, some of the plants are like a big one, and then some are small. And I think it's because he's just individually sourcing from around the country from different folks. And I thought that was really cool. And then on Saturday, I went back again, and I was there for a couple hours. I was actually going to hang out with Nicole Deanna. She has a YouTube channel, but Nancy and I were just exhausted. There was a huge line out the door, and we're like, let's just go to Fairchild Botanical Gardens. So we ended up going to Fairchild Botanical Gardens, and that place is more amazing than any place I've ever been. It may have even been cooler than the show, almost. They're doing the Million Orchid Project, and they have all this, and so they're trying to put all these orchids back into the wild. They're cultivating wild ones, and actually Nancy, she has her own place in the Dominican Republic, and she's doing a lot of that flasking as well in the Dominican Republic, and then bringing it back to Fairchild for them to distribute. So it was really cool. Actually, I got to go there with her, and she really showed me around and showed me some cool stuff. But then also on Saturday, I was able to hang out with Olivier Turner. He's got his own YouTube channel. Actually, one of my favorite YouTube channels for orchids, because he grows a lot of Catasetums. And he is Orchid House, Fort Lauderdale. And then Ray from Ray's Garden was there. And it was fun to chat with people. So there's the judging was great. The vendors was great. And then just socializing and meeting new people and seeing old friends. I got to hang out with Mike Hamlin and Naoki for sushi one night. And I could babble on for hours.
Yeah, it's hard to think all that happened in the span of 2 days?
Yeah, I landed Thursday and I left Saturday night.
That's great.
Yeah, so I was busy.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, shall we jump on to the plants? I brought in a special guest. He was not requested, but he just opened his flower this morning. So I just wanted to bring Hal in to say hi to everybody. Hal is he just put this spike out. He had 3; those all finally finished, and then he's immediately started another one. So I just wanted to bring Hal in to say hi.
I can smell him from here.
Oh yeah, he smells great. Hal really loved spending his summers outside in Kentucky, where it was hot and humid, raining all the time. In the tent, he's not 100% so happy, but I'm not 100% sure why either. For example, see the crispiness back here? It's like the leaf starts to die back at the tip, and this is like a process of years and years and years, before it finally just takes it. But I don't know.
Is that just the natural? Is that just how it goes, or do you think there's actually something wrong?
I don't know. Again, I don't know. It doesn't look great, but yeah, it could just be a natural thing. Maybe it's water purity.
You're just using tap water?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I have started putting aquarium water conditioner in my tap water before I put it on the plants to sequester all the chloramine out of the water. And I started doing that. Someone actually on here, I think his name is Spencer, gave me the idea to do that and said that if I was going to use Inocucore or any of those probiotics, plant probiotics, it would, if you use tap water, it'll kill the bacteria. So you have to make it condition it first. Makes sense. And I was okay. So I started doing it all the time, and now I've noticed that I've got a lot more algae growing on the sides of the tent, and I'm like, okay, it's working. Is this good?
Is it? Yeah. Is this a good thing?
Is this what I wanted?
That's funny. Right. Yeah. What is your water like there? Is it hard? Is it?
No, it's about 50 parts per million out of the tap.
Oh.
Total dissolved solids. So it's
that's
nice.
Fine.
It's Colorado snow melt.
Okay, that sounds lovely.
Yeah, it is. It's good. That's why they make so much beer here.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I drink plenty of that Colorado beer.
All right, I want to show you this other guy was requested. This is the Bulbophyllum catenulatum. You can see how tiny he is. Apologize.
And that's not a common one at all.
No, I've seen maybe one other one on Instagram. The guy, I think he's Mr. Orchidaceae. He has one. But this comes from Andy's Orchids. If you want one, you can go to Andy's and get one. And it was given to me a couple years ago by my friend Joe.
You've got a couple of species in there, right?
Yeah, the bigger one, you can see the big bulbs here. These are the croceum, Bulbocroceum. And then the smaller ones back here, this is the catenulatum. And it's just
Cool.
nice. It's cute. It's we caught it early enough where the flower's still open. By the afternoon, it usually closes up, and it does that for about 3 or 4 days, and then they fall off. But it's really been real easy to grow. This other one, this croceum, I have this thing like it grows leaves, and then they turn yellow at the tip like this,
Mm-hmm.
and then they fall off. So you can see the bulbs themselves are fat, like the plant's got water, but it's not able to hold on to leaves, and I'm wondering if it's a humidity issue, temperature issue.
What is your humidity?
It can be as low as 50 or it can be as high as 80. It just depends on. Usually I try to water in the evening, and so it has a nice high humidity all night. And in the morning, it's like 60, 70 when I open the tent up to look in there. And then when I get home in the afternoons, it's as low as 50. Like it's all kind of dried up during the day. And then I try to repeat that cycle.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't. Bulbos, I'm kind of getting into them. In fact, one of the plants that I brought in is a bulbo as well. This is dennisii, and this is the clone Lil. And Lil has a CCM. And I was growing this one in a terrarium in my office.
Oh, that's
so my
cool.
office, it's permanently 70 degrees. And I had the lid on the terrarium closed. And I was like, well, it's going to die because it doesn't see seasonal variation. And it's just closed in. It loved it. It bloomed almost all the time, nonstop. I would forget to water it for weeks sometimes. And then I would hit it with water and it's like, oh, I'm alive again. And it would bloom. So I figured, well, okay, I tore the tank down at my office and I brought it home and I was like, okay, well, let's see if it can grow outside in Texas. And it can grow just fine, as you can see. I think it was half this big about a year ago.
Oh, wow.
It just doesn't bloom. So it's outside, so it has seasonal cues. It has, day length, temperature variation. I don't know what it is. I kind of wonder if I need to torture it like the way, or if it needs that high humidity. Some of these finer root ones, like maybe like the one that you're talking about, needs that high humidity, but it seems to be growing just fine.
Yeah, and it's interesting you mentioned that because I feel like, yeah, some plants like Hal really liked having those summers outdoors, but the other plants that are a little bit more finicky like my Cattleya rexes, they've done better in the tent in that controlled, constant environment. They've done way better in that than they ever did growing outside in the summer because it was just too variable and they needed really constant conditions. So yeah, it's very possible it just really liked your tank.
Yeah. And thinking about your Rex, Rex, Varsavixii, and Dowiana kind of all have that. They're in the same area. They seem to like that. I'm just about ready to give up on Varsavixii and my conditions.
Really? What?
I don't know. It just seems like it just takes so much work and it's taking up space. So.
Well, I remember last time you saying it felt like you were starting to get some real progress. You found the shadier conditions, more moisture. So I'm surprised to hear this.
Yeah, I think it's just that back and forth that us orchid growers do. Or like, do I want to keep this? Nah, screw it. Oh, maybe I do want to keep it. So I'm on the downswing of my enthusiasm. Who knows? In a couple months, I might be on the way back up. We'll see.
Eileen in the chat says, "Wish I had some." I think that's a hint right there. So,
rehoming suggestion, right?
Right. Yeah. Vicious V says, "I put my orchids outside this year. Almost all of them got burned."
Oh.
And, yep. The sun is a mighty powerful thing. In fact, even though my tent gets sunlight for just a couple hours in the morning and that's it, all the flowers point towards the window.
Oh, it's just so much brighter.
Even 2 hours of sun versus 8 hours of overhead light, it's the sun that gets their attention. They're like, oh,
they know.
you. Yeah, they know.
They're like, that's the real one. I want that one.
Yeah, and it is true, and it's powerful. When I put my light meter in there with the sun, it's like 5,000 lumens or foot candles, one of those. And then underneath the lights, it's still strong, but it's not as intense. So yeah, they know.
What are your lights? Since I'm gonna have to buy, I think I'll have to buy a new one for that grow tent.
Well, I guess when I was thinking about putting my tent together, a company called Spider Farmer contacted me, and they said, "Hey, we'd love for you to try our lights, and which one do you think would work best for you?" And I said, "Well, the SF1000 looks good because it's supposed to approximate a 1,000-watt light, I believe, like a 1,000-watt high-pressure sodium. I think that's why it's the 1,000. But so they sent it to me. I put it in there. I had just that one light for the whole tent, and everything looked pretty darn good. Like I was seeing purple edges on the leaves and stuff, and I was like, "This little thing." But I mean, they are powerful. So I went ahead and got a second one, and so now I have the two lights kind of equally spaced, and they're about, gosh, maybe 2 to 3 feet above the tops of the Cattleyas. Now some of them plants are different heights, so some of them are kind of closer, but that light is intense.
And it's like a square. It's like this big.
It just looks like a square panel about this big,
like a foot square.
And you just hang it, and it's got a dimmer switch on it, and you can make it brighter or less, depending on. I have them full. I have them on wide open, and they are powerful lights. I think any of those brands, like I think I see a lot of Mars Hydro. Heck, they might all be the same company in China, putting them out under different names. I don't know, but
possible.
I think they're all good. A lot of people show really good results with them. I'm able to grow very high light plants that really seem to be doing well. And when I put my head in the tent, I always put sunglasses on because it physically hurts my eyes.
Okay. All right, I'll check that out. Actually, the Spider Farmer guy contacted me a year or two ago and said, "Hey, can you highlight this on your channel?" And I was like, "Well, I don't grow anything under lights, so no, sorry."
Write him back.
Yeah, I should see if he's still interested.
Yeah. You can be like, "I've already mentioned your product in this video."
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
maybe.
Shall we move on to those exciting Catasetums?
Yeah. Well, actually, before we do that, so I actually ended up bringing over several plants that are not Catasetums or Cattleyas.
Okay.
Just because I don't know, I figured I'd mix it up.
You're gonna show a side of you we don't often see.
Exactly, a fowl
that
I got at Tamiami.
Oh, oh man, if I had any of those types of Phalaneopsis, that's the one I would get, is that tetraspis.
And tetraspis it could also be speciosa, Phalaneopsis speciosum. So I don't know what it'll bloom out, but I saw one of these blooming at the Carl Smith tent, and it was cerulean, and I was like, God, that is too cool, but it's a foul. I'm not going to buy it. And then I was talking to my friend Dimitri. He's on Orchid Board, Mr. Fake Name. He's over there in France, and he grows a lot of phals. He's like, dude, you got to get that one. And so I went back on Saturday and I picked this. I assume it's a clone because it has YL in the end.
Oh, okay.
But I think the one that I saw blooming was fragrant. And I'm a sucker for fragrant plants, and what the heck, I'll have a foul. I can have one, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, that's the coolest one because of the way that the flowers aren't symmetrical. There's a little patch of red here, there's a patch here, spot here. That's super cool.
Yeah, it's a weird little thing. So I figured the weird little things, they're welcome in my collection.
Absolutely. But it might need some special care, so.
Yeah, we'll see. I actually have it just growing underneath the Walkerianas, so it's all shaded. And when I water them, it just gets water automatically. So it's almost a companion plant.
That's funny.
So if it dies, whatever.
Well, anything else?
No, you said you brought some of those catasetums?
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Yeah, Eileen says don't knock the fowls. I got to be honest. I referred to Phalaneopsis. Well, you have the really cool ones like the Schilleriana with the splotchy leaves and the big arching inflorescences of like, up to 100 or more flowers. And then you have the boring phals, which people seem to be crazy about, but I'm just
The big white ones that.
No, I'm talking about like Violacea or Bellina or
Oh.
the big shiny green leaves and then the
Mm-hmm.
one flower, and it's like. But everyone has likes and dislikes. I'm sure if I had one, I would feel differently.
I got to judge some of Frank Smith's Bellinas at Tamiami, and I mean, these plants are like this big, and each leaf is this monstrous, and I was like, oh, okay, I can see why people are into that. And then you smell it, and it smells so good. But
yeah, I've heard their fragrances are great.
Yeah, I think with my extreme heat and then the occasional cold snap down to freezing by accident in my greenhouse, I suspect it wouldn't do very well.
Probably not. Be mushy after that.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, maybe we'll save the Catasetums for last, but I did have one more thing before the Catasetums because I wanted to show you my Cattleya maxima.
Oh, yeah.
And my maxima, this is the cerulean, and it's I think it's confused because from what I've read, they're supposed to bloom around this time of year, but mine has the past 2 years bloomed in summer and then started growing. So you can see it's got new growths coming up, and it's just completed some other ones about a month ago. So I'm wondering, any idea why that would be?
Growing under lights, you lose a lot of the seasonality for a lot of species. Some will still bloom like clockwork at the same time of year. Others, like maxima, will bloom once or 2 or 3 times a year. And it seems like yours is kind of, I bet soon enough that plant's big enough to give you blooms in spring and then in fall and then spring and fall. That
would be awesome.
Yeah. And it's not for all species. Some like I said, will maintain that seasonality, I guess, and then others are just like, whatever, I'm under lights, life is easy, I'm gonna bloom whenever.
Right. There's no problems here.
Yeah.
All right.
I guess if we're gonna keep showing fun plants, here's another one. I haven't gotten this one to bloom yet. This is Neomoorea wallissii.
Oh, okay.
And I think it might be irorata now, but it's just one of those big leafy things. But if you look it up online, the flowers are just absolutely amazing. So I'm really.
What's it called? Neo something?
Neomoorea wallissii.
All right, let's see if we can pull in a picture for everybody.
Got that.
Oh, it looks kind of Vanda-ish.
It kind of has an interesting, weird Vanda kind of quality to it.
You guys can see I'm sharing the image right now. You guys can look at it. Yeah, it's cool. And the color's kind of bronzy looking.
Yeah, it looks like big flowers and not common. And when I saw that, I think I got it from Equihenra when they were here at the San Antonio show 2 or 3 years ago, or I guess it would have been 3 years ago because 2 years ago was COVID times almost. And yeah, so I assume it's an import. I think it's adjusted. It seems like it's big enough to bloom. Hopefully it goes soon. And then I guess, well, I got one more oddball.
Oh, what is that? Is
Peristeria elata.
Peristeria, okay.
This is the national orchid of Panama, I think.
Oh, nice.
It's called the Holy Ghost orchid. And I burned the crap out of it.
Oh, dang.
This is just sun damage. This is Texas sun damage, but it put out this bulb this year, and it's got 2 more growths going on the side here. So it kind of shrugged off this. I mean, it looks melted, doesn't it?
It looks like it looks like nuclear fusion took place there.
Yeah. So those are my weird ones. I'm hoping this one blooms soon. And the flowers, I got to see actually one blooming at Tamiami. And they're white. Each one is about this big, but it's on a long inflorescence, and it's a Stanhopeia relative.
Oh, cool.
And so, but it's one of where the spike grows up, and then all of its sort of other Peristerias have their spikes that are pendant, and they grow down. So I figure this one seems to like my condition. So hopefully I'll be able to make a video about that guy soon.
That's cool. Dove orchid.
Dove orchid. Yep.
Orchid's Angel's Obsession says it's a dove orchid, very elegant.
Yeah. If you zoom in on the flower, it looks like a dove flying away. You can see the beak and the wings and stuff. Yeah. See what you got.
All right, it's time. Let's look at these clones, or they're not really clones, are they? They're seedlings we got from Fred Clark earlier this year, the June list that came out.
Yeah.
This is Clowesia Rebecca Northen. Rebecca Northen is grace done by Clowesia rosea.
Mm-hmm.
And this little booger has got 2 spikes on him.
Oh.
I cannot
It's really
believe
early.
it.
Normally they go in the spring, in like February.
Well, I guess it's those lights, right? No, he's got one on each side. See the little dude there?
That's cool.
He's got another little dude, there.
You're going to love the scent.
I know. I was not expecting this. So, I like you already.
You're a keeper.
What's cool about this plant and this other plant I'm going to show you is that they have the same mom. So, this one here, this is my Mormodia Jumbo World. Oh, you have one of these now.
Kanazawa?
Yes. And then this one, the mom is Grace Dunn. This one's mom is Grace Dunn. And you can see they're kind of both in that same fall yellow flower mode, or yellow leaf mode, dropping leaves. This leaf was totally green last week, and it looks like it's about to fall off. This one's got a spike too. So spike season has started for me finally. I don't typically get any kind of Catasetum stuff in the summer or fall, but the winter's when they show their stuff.
Yeah. There's 2 types of Cloesias. There's one that bloom, around January, February, and then there's the sort of big, we call them the goblin-looking ones, the big green flowers, and they bloom in summertime. But the Clowesia rosea, varsavixii, and a few others whose names I'm forgetting are those sort of small, sort of the round cup-shaped flowers that you sort of think of when you think Clowesia. And then those other, the goblin ones, Russeliana is one, and Thylacyla is another. And they're the summer bloomers, and they're weird looking, and they make weird looking hybrids.
And I've heard they don't smell very good either.
I haven't smelled them in person, so I can't speak to that. So I think having yours bloom in the spring or starting to spike now is really cool. I'm a little jealous.
I'm excited. I'll be sure to show everybody when it blooms.
Yeah. This is Hunter, by the way.
What's up, Hunter?
You say hi.
Hi.
Hi. So this is my
so your cooperi?
cooperi, yeah. You can see
Nice.
It is quite a bit smaller than yours. I wonder if I got on the tail end, I think he takes the best plants first,
Maybe. I don't know. Can you show it? Can you zoom in on the leaf axils, and maybe we can see if there's a spike in there somewhere?
Yeah, so there's the lower one. There's the next one.
Oh, What's that light spot, or is that just an artifact of the camera?
It's light. No, it is a light spot, but it's a depression.
Oh, okay.
It's not a bump. And then there's another light spot there, but again,
No bump.
not a bump. It's a inward bump. I mean, do you really think this could be big enough to bloom, as small as it is?
It could be. It's Hunter says no. It's
I agree with Hunter.
I mean, I've seen them bloom that small. It's not for sure. So like, this size is, you're like, okay, that's going to bloom.
Oh yeah.
And that one is kind of 50-50.
I'm going to be pessimistic so I don't get disappointed.
Drive it. Okay. Go on.
And did you bring your big female cooperi?
I didn't actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I should have. But
So this is one you just got this year
in
the spring, and there it is. And can you tell already if they're going to be male, female?
The size, yeah. So these will be a plant this size will only send out males.
Okay.
And B, you can see it's kind of like a pine cone where all the flowers are stacked on each other. Although when we were chatting last time, I thought I jumped the gun a little early, and I thought the same thing, and they all turned out to be females.
Yeah, you were like, yeah. I'm glad. I mean, I was impressed to see how many you got.
Oh, I'm getting ants on me too.
Uh-oh.
Just so everybody can see which one we're talking about. This is
There was ants on you?
Cycnoches cooperi.
Daddy, there was ants on you?
Put the ant back in here. And the ants will go after the sugar, of course,
There was ants on you?
which I'm fine with. Yeah, buddy. So I look forward to blooms. I bet it'll bloom. I bet I'll see flowers in 3 weeks probably.
Looking forward to seeing them.
Yeah. Should be nice. Actually, I got, Fred was in town in Texas. I guess it was the first week of October. So I guess it's 2 weeks ago. And I got some more plants from him when he was in Austin. And,
Oh, really?
yeah, I got a Certipodium punctatum that he brought me, and then a Dendrobium speciosum, actually a good size one.
Okay.
And
Those get huge.
that's yeah, they can get big, but they love, the conditions they grow in are just like Texas, right?
Okay.
Maybe not as cold in the winter, but they can handle temperatures down to freezing. And then, the 100+ degree temperatures are no problem. And then actually, so I was like, hey, Fred, can we do a chat? And he's like, yep. So we're going to do a trial run. And we're going to chat about fertilizer tomorrow. Yeah. And he kind of blew my mind with this fertilizer. His talk was how to be an 80th percentile grower. But before that, him and I were chatting, and what he mentioned to me about fertilizing just like blew my mind. So that's what our chat will be about. And hopefully what he told me will make sense to everyone else. And it should be a good talk.
So we can look forward to a conversation with you and Fred Clark tomorrow.
No, so the trial run will be, he wants to kind of go over things tomorrow, and then we'll probably film it next weekend.
Oh, okay. All right, great. Looking forward to hearing that.
Yeah, and maybe I can show him some of his plants.
That'd be great.
Yeah. So.
Well, Steve, is it about that time? Getting close to the hour.
Yeah, we can. I'm looking around to see if there's anything else. I've got some stuff that's in bud, but I'll just make a video about it next week, I think. I can show this little sad little guy. I actually wasn't going to show this one. I'll just talk about it real quick. It's just Laelia alaorii.
Oh, that's the little bitty one.
It's so sad looking. But I do want to show that, not everything goes right in orchid land and at my house. And, sometimes things need a little TLC, and this guy's putting out 3 new growths. So it's time for, as soon as we're done with this chat, I'm going to repot it. Something different.
He's sending you a signal.
Yeah. The signal is I'm going to die if you don't do something.
I want to live. Please help me.
Yeah, exactly. This is my last chance.
All right. Well, everybody at home, thank you so much for joining us. Please head over to Steve's channel and check out his videos. And especially next week, we're all going to be looking forward to hearing you chat with Fred Clark. And I feel like the level of orchid geek out it'll be like 80th percentile.
Just chatting with him and realizing that I can do stuff differently that might make my plants way happier is great. So I look forward to sharing that with everyone.
And I'm glad that he's happy to share too.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Well, I guess we're going to go ahead and finish up. People at home, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time on My Green Pets. Thank you so much, Stephen. And we're going to go ahead and end our live stream now. See you guys next time.
Later.
Okay.